I know companies are scummy. CEOs like Bobby Kotick heading the most volatile workplaces, companies like Ubisoft removing games like The Crew from people's libraries even though their customers have owned that game for years, and games like Halo Infinite being cash grab, unfinished, broken messes on release. And don't get me started on the digital-only apocalypse. A lot of bad is happening in the industry. While I recognize the problems on the production side, I want to spend today's video talking about the other 50% of the problem, that being you. Now there's a lot of viewers on the channel who have been here for years, based, level-headed weirdos of all shapes and sizes that I love having as an audience. But this channel is growing, and as that little number goes up, my videos are exposed to the masses that I usually strive to avoid. People who thrive on drama, rage bait, and mob mentality. People who claim that nothing today makes them happy, and how they wish they could just go back in time, completely neglecting that in most cases a lot of the things that they loved in the good old days can still be enjoyed today. Are you making a 3-hour video on how Halo is dead? Well, instead of paying for Battle Pass items in a digital-only game on a console that'll be useless in 10 years when online services are cut, save up for a 360 and 4 controllers and play some Halo 3 with your friends and family. Or, and this might be crazy, but hear me out, check out these games from the 2020s so far that are not only filled with the things that made you love games back in the day, but also games that do those same things better. I would normally look at games from the past 5 years, but nostalgia zombies are already stroking it to 2019. So the criteria for today's ranked recommendations is: the game has to have been released anywhere between 2020 to 2024. It can't be a remake. I love remakes, but I want to focus on fresh ideas here. And it cannot be a re-release of an older game. I'm Pliskin, let's get right on into it. Do you like the movement of Titanfall 2? The universe-expanding adventures from Jedi Academy? Or the base building of games like Assassin's Creed 2? Try Jedi Survivor. This sequel to Fallen Order expands on the formula, taking it from a Souls-like to its own giant beast. There are 5 learnable lightsaber styles. Traditional single blade, which is a balanced approach to combat. Dual wielding, which gives you a way to be a lot more aggressive in your offense, but sacrifices your effective defense. Darth Maul it up and be adept at defending against sabers and blasters alike. Or Kylo Ren crossblade style, makes you a slow but hard-hitting tank. And if you're a fan of Devil May Cry, you can also switch to a style in which you balance shooting and slashing. Switch between these styles to match up to a variety of challenging but fairly telegraphed enemies. The level design is a combination of a variety of smaller, linear levels, packed with dense detail that warrant revisits as you unlock more force abilities, and the massive, open yet still dense planet of Kobo. Do you remember how I talked about Metal Gear Solid 5 and how its map design could have been a lot better if it was kind of like a donut, where you start on the outer edge of it, doing scouting, getting information about what's going on in the middle, then you start going towards like the inner edges of it, and you start doing some sabotage and pick up stuff that'll make eventually getting to that middle part a lot easier than if you were just to like sprint right on into it? Kobo is like this, but in reverse. Your hub is that gushy middle of the donut. Venture further out along the inner edges to defeat enemies, find items, and recruit people to make your hub better. The further you go out, the more you find to bring back in. But yeah, this hub alone makes the game worth playing. A garden to grow, side quests, mini-games, cosmetics to purchase, and my favorite, a recruitable oceanographer who works with you to maintain and build upon an aquarium, and his name is Scuba Skeeve. Yeah, if you grew up watching as much Adam Sandler as I have, you'll definitely appreciate that. So why is it that this great game is at the bottom of the list? Well, it's over 130 gigabytes. Which is ridiculous. Apparently, it's huge because of the high quality textures in the environments, but like, I don't care if a rock looks blurry. You need to lower this file size, Respawn. Like, it's fucking insane how big this game is, so that is definitely a flaw. On to the next game, and goddamn, it's another Star Wars game. You remember old school LEGO Star Wars? Well, I've gone back to it and it is rough. However, the new LEGO Star Wars is amazing. Voice acting, open level exploration, and fucking split screen, baby! This game is cool. Dodging, attacking, and special abilities make combat engaging. There's boss fights, grunts to slay, massive battles, unlockable characters spanning every era of Star Wars keeps a flowing sense of progression. The writing is both charming and meta. It's also just really cool that I can hop into my ship, leave Coruscant, fly to the space surrounding Kamino, and then land on the planet, fight Jango Fett. This game has a lot to offer. The only reason it's not higher on the list is because there's a lot of sections that can feel very aimless, and a lot of walking and talking at times. Still, if you're a Star Wars fan from the originals, the prequels, or the sequels, or even the expanded universe, you don't want to miss out on this game. I have a weird relationship with Ghostwire Tokyo. I've spent a lot of time backseat gaming with my brother, so even though I've only played this game recently for this video, I feel like I've been playing this for well over a year. This game has atmosphere. It's first person and it's open world, but it's not a Ubisoft checklist or a Fallout style collectathon. Ghostwire is about solving paranormal mysteries, fighting evil spirits, and helping lost souls find peace. When solving mysteries, you'll usually venture into liminal interiors where drama, frights, and tender moments will occur. When fighting evil spirits, you'll use wind powers for accuracy and speed. You'll use water powers to deliver crowd controlling and stopping power based attacks. And explosive fire powers should be saved for more deadly foes. Bringing souls to a place of peace can be as simple as absorbing them with charms, or doing entire side quests. There is also this cool wire you use for finishing off spirits and traversal, but my favorite part is the vibes. Just wandering around aimlessly. Never knowing exactly what's around these densely packed city streets. Ghostwire is a truly unique experience, and if you own a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you should definitely pick this up. Are you a 30-year-old white guy obsessed with Silent Hill 2? Are you someone who's never played Silent Hill 2, but will hate post on every up-to-date with the remake because a 3-hour video essay told you to? Are you part of the hysteria that has drained the life out of the original creators? Well, then please rethink your life. Are you a fan of old-school survival horror and want to see a game that innovates on the formula while still staying true to it? Play Signalis. This game is terrifying. The puzzles are hard but sensible, The combat feels good, but doesn't empower you past the horror. And the plot is hard-hitting and worthy of sitting next to Silent Hill 2 and Rule of Rose. It has pieces evocative of Dead Space with the dystopian sci-fi setting, Silent Hill's sense of subtle horror, and Resident Evil's mechanical depth. All of it comes together to create something new and better than all of those older entries in the previously mentioned series. The only potential flaw is the anime aesthetic, which can turn a lot of people off. But I am telling you, as a horror game, this is peak. The only reason this game isn't at the top of the list is because it's super scary, and I'm baby. This next pick was a total surprise to me back in 2022. I downloaded a demo for Anom Mutation and bought the full game almost immediately after. This is a 2D action-adventure game that is part side-scrolling hack and slash and part level-based exploration with 3D environments. I've never experienced anything like this. The combat is surprisingly in-depth, with a shields and health system that requires light and heavy attacks, dodges, and blocks. If I'm being honest though, what brings me back to this game are the adventure elements. I love visiting the various shops, little city districts, playing minigames, and just chatting up the NPCs. There are even characters from another cool indie game called Valhalla here. You can even find a character that references one of my favorite YouTubers, the Sphere Hunter. If you want a complete, polished cyberpunk game with multiple levels varying in atmosphere and environment, presented in a unique package, try this. The voice acting is kind of generic anime as well as the art style, so if that turns you off, again, that might be a flaw, but I really recommend you try this. I feel like Resident Evil 8 wasn't treated fairly. All the porn addicts gushed over Dimitrescu and then complained how it wasn't enough like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 8 is its own thing. The same way people now see Resident Evil 5 and 6's strengths, years down the line when nostalgia tards need more content to obsess over the past, I'm sure you're gonna see videos talking about how RE8 was judged too harshly. Let it be known here and now that I've said since 2021 that Resident Evil 8 is a great game. It's a well-paced first-person linear shooter with a solid level-up sandbox. You get action, horror, platforming, and a plethora of bonus content. It comes with a great Mercenaries mode that really emphasizes how good the first-person combat feels. The game is also not too long, so replay value is not only there, but it's approachable. Nowadays, with the Winter's expansion, the game offers even more. A third-person mode, bonus characters in the Mercenaries, and an entirely new campaign that follows the tenets of the remake sense of survival horror. All of these things really make the game worth it. I think the file size is still under 40 gigabytes even after the expansion, so yeah, this is a good game with tons of content. What are you waiting for? Go play this! Every couple of years, I play a game that just strikes a chord with me on a spiritual level. Combat Evolved, BioShock 2, Infamous 2, Batman Arkham City, The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid 5, Resident Evil 7, Devil May Cry 5, Haunting Ground, and now Seda and the Lost Demon. I love everything about this game. The storybook art style and its creative visuals, gameplay that relegates each Joy-Con controller to a given character. Your left hand controls Seda, and your right hand controls her demonically possessed stuffed animal, Cheshire. To succeed in puzzles, traversal, and combat, you'll need to have both characters act in cohesion, not only challenging your knowledge of the mechanics, but also challenging your hand-eye coordination. The stellar enemy design gives purpose to all of the different abilities that you can unlock in a skill tree that requires different forms of currency for both Seda's and Cheshire's upgrades respectively. Exploring the fairy forest is beautiful but tense, making it so that when you find a rest point where you can save, craft potions, and I mean like just check out this cool animation. So good. It's an immense relief every single time. And the sound design. I love it. In order to liberate parts of the forest or develop new powers or find certain things of interest, these areas called Tiranoks, which are these combat or traversal based puzzles that you need to get through in order to unlock this area or gain something new. And do I have to say how beautiful this looks? Like, just take a second and look at this. Listen to this. This is amazing. As a bonus, while this game is technically not multiplayer, you can split the Seda or Cheshire controller between you and a friend, and it works really well with the teamwork focused gameplay. Style, substance, this game has it all. In the summer of 2020, a game released. A game that is so painfully good that I have to put it above everything else on this list, even Seda and the Lost Demon. Ghost of Tsushima is worthy of sitting next to Halo Combat Evolved in regards to quality, sandbox balancing, and replayability. Open world exploration feels natural with in-world elements guiding you to optional points of interest. The PS4/5's touchpad is used for said guidance, as well as a variety of other cool features. Unlockable outfits follow the Halo 3 model of do something cool and you get cool armor. Take the Gosaku armor for example. You liberate farmsteads and occasionally a farmer will reveal his particular village holds one of 6 keys to the keep of the legendary Gosaku armor, worn by the defender of farmers. So you learn his legend and you seek out the 6 villages, then you liberate them and get the keys. Then you go to where the armor is kept. You beat the Mongols that are guarding it, and then there you go, you unlocked a new cool ass set of armor. It really takes me back to last summer, where I finally booted up Halo 3 again and sought out the 13 skulls and earned the Hayabusa armor. This method for unlocking things in games is just the peak method. It really makes you feel like you've earned the armor that you're wearing. Oh, also, there's a great PvE online mode, killer feature bringing DLC, and horse combat. This is objectively the best game of the early 2020s, and this is the reason to get a PS4 or a PS5, just like Halo is the reason to get an Xbox. So ye who plays COD, Fortnite, and all other online-only microtransaction fests every year, ye who consumes and forgets year after year, ye who feels empty and misses the days when games made your heart feel full, wake the fuck up. You are part of the problem. Games that are just as good, if not better, than your childhood classics are still being made. I just showed you 8 examples of good games available. on a variety of consoles. You want good games? Buy good games. Support creative developers when they try new and different things. If you don't, if you continue to play games that make you unhappy, made by companies that work and in some cases rape their staff into dust, then I got news for you. Gaming isn't dead. You are.
This is Solid Snake. Hey, subscribe to Pliskin Boy. God damn it.
You heard him.